body were like shaking. And I don't feel as jittery anymore. I think because I'm already in the car, I already took some form of action. Anytime I see a question where it's like, what's the quickest way to get out of like a funk, out of an anxious state, out of a depressive episode, like what's the quickest way to get out of any of these? And my response is always to take action. And it's so crazy that like I already went through that this morning, because when I was at my apartment, and like it's so crazy, the body is so crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean amazingly beautiful. But I am so like when I say I was jittery in the apartment, I mean like more than this. This is like quite calm. And I know I'm going to be more calm as I approach the restaurant, because by taking action, like you just, I don't know, there's something like, I was trying to describe it, how like Newton's laws and stuff, how like an object in motion stays in motion, and an object not in motion stays not in motion. And whenever I do these sort of going from one frequency or vibration to another, and I tend to go from like the low, because that's the kind I was raised in, that's the kind that my conditioning, like my, you know, like all of my developmental years were all very low vibrational because of my parents. Well, it's not a blame game. It's not a blame game. Just something happened, and as a result, yes, I was raised in very, 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 very low vibrational. And I know the essence that God has put inside of me, like how he created me, how like that I am of him, that like I know that is very high vibrational. And I know a lot of the reason why I'm able to do everything is because of him, and also because of everything he put inside of me. Like my insight, my awareness, my strength, my ability to make connections, my ability to something as simple as this. Because when I was in the apartment, there is literally zero reasoning or reason for me to be doing this. Just like I mentioned in my social anxiety led me to pole dancing classes. It's like I didn't have to do that. And in the video, I mentioned how I'm pretty much constantly outside of my comfort zone, because that's something that I naturally feel all the time. Not that I want to be outside of my comfort zone, or I feel like I'm supposed to feel a certain way that's similar to being outside your comfort zone. But like, I don't know. I was raised a certain way, but I was created for like another way. And it's been so amazing. But yes, like when I was in the apartment, it's like I was like, my body was like shaking, and I kept like going like, ah, like I don't know what that's called. It's not yelping, but it's like something where you're not like, just like, I don't know how to phrase it. So happy, so excited. And it's so interesting how literally like there is zero reason for me to do this. I'm going to a restaurant by myself. I don't think I've mentioned that, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put in the title somewhere. Like it's going to be my first time ever going to a restaurant by myself. And I even felt a little bit of you don't have to, or you can wait, or like, you know, like, but that was placed in me for this week, and that's what we're doing, because I always go to my pools. And when I say pools, I mean like, I don't know how to describe it. I feel like, I don't know if it like, but whenever I had like that feeling of I want to start taking dance classes, like that, I know it wasn't my idea. I know it was given to me. I know it was like got like, and so that's like a pull. I know I didn't have to do it, but I wanted to do it because it was placed in me, and so I did it, and it was so much fun. And now I learned how amazing and fun like pole dancing can be. And so yes. But like, isn't that crazy? Like an object in motion does stay in motion. That's like physics. An object not in motion stays not in motion. That's also physics. That's like literal physics, science, etc. And I was raised in a very abusive, very neglectful, like, we're talking like, this is the kind of thing that could affect someone for the rest of their life, right? Like, it's really hard to get out of the way you were raised, right? Our parents and everything are supposed to be like the best for us. I've also had someone really, really, really close to me tell me that my parents shouldn't have had like us, the children, because they just weren't like equipped. And I know it's all like generational cycles, and again, it's nobody's fault. They were raised a certain way, they came out a certain way, they chose to have us, and now, you know, here I am. Like, and it's so crazy because all the times, all the years that I had my social anxiety, and I don't know if it's so, when I say I had social anxiety, I mean like I wasn't even in a position to even consider this sort of thing. Like, had this been like previously, like I just wouldn't have been able to do it. Like, period. Like, and the way I phrase it now is I think I just lack a lot of social exposure. That's the way I feel it. Because like going right now, I'm not like nervous. I'm excited. And I think all the nerves and jitters and everything else that I feel right now, I think that's more to do with just the excitement. And also just like when you're not used to doing something, it does feel a certain way, right? Like if you don't know how to ride a bicycle, it's not that you're like enabled to, or like you're lacking something, or it's just like, no, you literally don't have any practice with it. So why would you be able to ride a bicycle right now? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The way I was raised and shaped in all of my developmental years, like literally is going against everything that I've been doing ever since I got out of that environment. But I know the only reason why I've been able to get out of that environment and all these pulls that are given to me, it's 1,000% God. And I can't talk about that too much because I'm going to start crying. When I think about the beauty, the amazing, the magnificent, but so it's not like social anxiety, because before it was like a phobia. It was like my body would shut down, like panic, like it was just so much. I don't want to talk about that right now, but the way I feel it with it now is that I just lack a lot of exposure. And when you lack exposure in something, I have to like clean my makeup now. I have to be careful when I talk about him, because that is the quickest way to just like, but yeah. And when I was at my apartment, I was kind of like jittery, and I was like, and I was like doing all of that. And then like for a second, I was like, or a millisecond, it's like, you don't have to, but it's like, no, I felt it. And every time I receive these or feel these pulls, I go through it. Because every single time that I've pursued it, and not even because of that, it's been super wonderful. But even before I knew it was going to be super wonderful, it's like I already knew it was going to be super wonderful, even before the first time I ever followed a pull, if that makes sense. Because I know, I can feel him. And it's like why would I get this pull if it's not going to lead me towards something good? I'm so excited! And earlier, whenever I said the body is really interesting, it's so crazy. This might be a separate video, actually. But I didn't think I was going to be so, like... But like I said, it makes sense. Because the amount of times I've gone to a restaurant are very, very low. I don't have that much experience, whatever. I'm going to get it, though. And I thought about it, like, even before I started making the video. It's like, you've done things by yourself, but every time I've done things by myself, it was always like I would go to dance class, and then there'd be a class there, so you're not really like by yourself. Even if you don't know anyone, you're still not by yourself because you're with people. And I've done other classes, like I've done meditation classes as well, which again isn't like, and I didn't really know anyone there either, because that was sort of like in between the social versus poly and where I am now. And like, yeah, it wasn't like nerve-wracking because I can go inside somewhere and like, you know, whatever. The only other thing I've done by myself up until this point is just going to like the movies, which was like the first thing I started doing a while ago, maybe like half a year ago, I think. But movies are really like if you're gonna start going out by yourself and you are someone like me who comes from a certain background where you weren't really taught to go out and make friends, and your parents didn't tell you, hey, you know, like, doesn't matter what happened, like, you still have your stuff, doesn't matter what happened, like, because you're supposed to teach a child like self-reliance and self-confidence and like, I think I need a Q-tip. Okay, I'm gonna do that after the video. But yeah, so nerve-wracking. But not nerve-wracking. Whenever I used to be like into heavy weights and all that, oh my gosh, it's like getting in my eye. I have to be so careful when I talk about God, because that is the quickest way to send me to just like, because how can you not? How can you not? He's so powerful and he's so beautiful and he's so loving and caring and just like everything. But yeah. So yeah, whenever I was like really into heavy lifting and all that, the same thing would happen, where whenever you would pick up a certain weight and you weren't used to it, I remember feeling almost like on a nerve level, my hands would just start like shaking, or my forearms or my shoulders or my legs, because whenever you do something like that you're not, like, you don't have practice in, it's almost like your body goes through something before it starts to adjust to it. Woo! Okay, I think we're better in the eye situation. Fanning helped. So it's the same thing. It's not that I'm anxious, I just don't have that much experience. And if this is my first time ever going to a restaurant by myself, that's like, I want to say level 2 in this, in terms of like, yeah, if you come from a similar background such as I, or you had social anxiety, or like, yeah, you were raised a certain way, yeah, it's that. And so it's really interesting. So it's not as dramatic as it sounds, but the way I was thinking about it earlier is like, dude, it's like literally I'm going against physics, because an object not in motion is supposed to stay not in motion, and an object in motion stays in motion. And what I've been doing, sort of similar to what I mentioned in that boop out of my alignment video, when you go from a certain frequency to a higher one, it is a lot. And I want to say the beautiful gateway is to take action. And it can be something so small. And I know that's like a huge blanket statement, but in everything I've gone through, right, anxiety, depression, so many other things, taking action is just like something happens to the, and again, I'm not a physics person. I don't even know that much about science. That's not my background, but I feel like there must be some kind of law or something that describes what happens to the energy, to the atoms, when you do transfer from from a solid state to a gas state. Because if you were raised a certain way and like, I don't know, like sheltered, toxic, you were taught, not because my parents, you know, I know they love me, I know all of that. It's just sometimes parents don't get the tools they need from their parents to teach their kids. That's just what it is, and that's okay. But I grew up very rigid. I grew up in a very like black and white. I grew up in a very like I don't know, but I was scared of the world. And now there's so much flexibility. There's so much adaptability. Like my parents always, it was always like rigid. There can't be anything different. Why is this not where it's supposed to be? Even though it's just like a remote. It's like, I don't know. But that's how, like, everything was just so, like, and now the space I'm in now, everything's always changing. Just like nature, just like God created us. Everything is always changing. We are constant evolving, constant, like it's not supposed to just be like, okay, cocoon forever or caterpillar forever. No. There's stages, there's seasons. The trees, the leaves go down, the leaves come back, you change, like. And so to go from like a solid state to a gas state, something, I don't know what happens to the atoms or the energy, but there's something there. And same thing with the Newton's law. I feel like there's something there where it's like, dude, I'm literally going against physics because I was raised a certain way, and going out around people, enjoying myself, that was not how I was raised. Like, it's such a foreign concept, such a foreign thing to my body, and that's why I know I got all these jitters and I'm excited and That's what that is. Just like when I used to lift heavy weights and I lifted a weight that was way heavy, like my body would start to like it would do this, like I would feel my nerves just everywhere, even like in my face sometimes, just like what's happening. Because if you're not used to something, it's gonna feel really different. And so your body has to, the atoms and everything is, and then you become this like, and it's awesome. I did not think, I thought I was gonna talk about something different, but this feels really good. And I'm just really happy. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. And like I've mentioned before, like there's literally zero reason for me to do this. There's zero reason. I'm not getting anything out of this other than just personal fulfillment. I mean, I know I'm getting a lot out of it, but typically people don't do something unless they have to, unless there's like a financial incentive, unless, I don't know, like, I don't know, like everybody does different things for different reasons. Maybe they want to impress someone, maybe they want to, a lot of things fall into those categories. But what I've been doing ever since I ever started this journey, it's like literally everything I've done, I didn't have to. I really didn't have to. I could have stayed in my social anxiety. I could have stayed with the limiting, I shouldn't say limiting, but with the beliefs that I was taught. I could have done all that. I could have stayed the same person that, that I was raised to be. I have to be careful. I have to be careful. But he didn't create me for all that. I was, made a certain way, or I was raised to be a certain way for whatever reason. And again, I don't want to be like pointing fingers. It's not about that. It's about the fact that, like, yeah, that happened. You can argue it shouldn't have happened, but it did. And it's been a long journey, and it's only getting more and more exciting. Because yeah, it took me about like 10 years to work on the social anxiety part of me, or however you want to phrase that. It was a lot. Because I used to be scared of going out, like, period. I used to be so scared. And now I have like my own apartment. So like I could easily just hide or stay in a safe place. Let's say that. I shouldn't say hide. But of course you want safety. Especially after experiencing childhood where you never felt safe, where I never felt safe. Like, why would I want to, go and do certain different things I've never done before? Why would I want to push myself? Why would I want to put myself in a space where I'm going to be uncomfortable? Like, that makes no sense. Like, it's so, I feel like there's a word for this. But the only reason why I have is because of him. I have to be careful because I don't want to start crying again. And it's just so amazing and beautiful how someone can love you so much. Because that's not why I was created. Like, it's not. Like, it's literally not. And I always feel so, I don't know the word, but like, lucky. what goes through everyone else's minds. But every single time I've gotten a pull from him, I pursue it feverishly. However you say that. Like with veracity. It's not like, oh, let me think about it. It's like, got it. Commissioner Gordon, we're on it. We're doing it. And it's so exciting and enthralling and beautiful. Because, yeah, like, I know there are so many past versions of me that are just like, wow. That are just like, wow. Like, we're doing all of this. And I gotta be careful with that. But yeah, I'm going to a restaurant by myself. I have been this one before. That's why I'm going to this one, because like I've been there with other people before. So I know the layout and everything, so I'm comfortable in that regard. Because you do want to do like baby steps. If you are trying to go from, you know, one way to another way, I think the best way is just slowly do what you feel like you can do. Because the moment you just like, I'm not gonna go to somewhere completely new and I don't know the layout and I'm like, like overstimulated, overwhelmed, like too much is happening. I want to go to a place that I'm kind of comfortable with and I'm familiar with. Because again, going back to the bicycle analogy, that's all this is. That's all like anything is. It's not that you can't do something. It's just like you're not familiar with it. So yes, I feel much better than like an hour ago. And the thing I was going to mention with the body being wonderful and amazing is how I woke up with a huge kink in my, like back here. I never wake up with anything. But I woke up with it yesterday because yesterday I started doing something else that was like completely like unrelated to this. And I woke up with a small kink, but I already knew that I was going to go out because for some reason Tuesday came to me. Like Tuesday was the day. Like, you're going to do this. And so yeah, when I woke up yesterday morning, it was like I felt something, but it was okay. And this morning, I wasn't even able to go like anything like that. It was like I had to like, it was like so painful. And at first I was like, I don't think I slept right. But then when I made the connection, like, wait a second, dude, you're going to go to the restaurant by yourself today. Like, that's what it is. That's what, it has nothing to do with that's the same bed you've been sleeping in. All these, you've done the same thing, same position, same routine. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you didn't sleep right. Like, no. It's because your body knows. And just like how your body always wants to protect you because God made it so beautiful and so amazing, and it literally always is doing its best to protect you. It's so beautiful. And so my body's like, what are you doing? Let's not do that. Right? Because from how I was raised and past experiences and all of that, like I'm literally doing something that is like danger, danger, danger. Like something bad's going to happen. That car. And, that was really weird because I was talking about, anyways, so my body's trying to protect me. Like, here's some pain so you can tell yourself, I didn't sleep right, so now I have an excuse. I don't got to do that anymore. But again, God is so amazing and so beautiful. Like, no. I spent an hour meditation. I spent like another hour just doing like stretches. I spent like so much. And then it was so funny because whenever I realized that's what it was, it pretty much went away. So I was like, you see that? But your body wants to protect you. It doesn't want you to get like hurt. It doesn't want you in any danger. It doesn't want like nothing like that. It wants you to be happy and safe. And yeah, so like I thought that was so interesting. So interesting, so cool. But like I said, practice, practice, practice. That's all that it is. That's all that it comes down to. Because I already know I'm going to keep up with this. Oh! Okay. I think I have to go that way. I already know. Like, girl, where are you driving? I think it's that way. But I already can see, like, the 100,000th time I've done this, I'm gonna be like so confident, so like just like I'm brushing my teeth. I don't even have to think about it. Like, it's already done. But right now, right, we're still learning. Like, we're still learning. I'm so excited! I just think it's funny because, like, I don't know if it was the food. I think it was the food a little bit. Like, like towards the end, I kind of felt like I was getting in a sedative state. No, I think it's over here. Oh my gosh! Use your brain. I came that way. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's okay. Ooh, I'm so excited! But yeah, like, it was like, especially like reading. I don't know about y'all, but when I read a book, I am currently reading The Artist's Way. Whenever I read a book, it sort of puts me like in a sedative state anyways, like relaxing, like calming. And then I'm like eating, and it was like a lot more than I usually eat around this time. I got like the small, like I didn't want to get like something too small. I wanted to get like a meal, but I got like a tinier meal, and I was getting so full. And like I kind of felt like I was like getting like sleepy, because when I get full I get really sleepy. And I think I know where I'm going. So exciting! But like, yeah, when I first got there, I think because I still had the jitters, it was like and then I started eating, I started whatever, and then I was like, ugh. But it was wonderful. It was so nice. I always want to, like, I feel like especially ever since I started The Artist's Way, which, by the way, I started reading this like 3 times since January. This is like my 3rd time. The first chapter I read like 3 times. But whenever I start a book and it's like I haven't read it like in a few weeks, it's like maybe you should like restart it again, because I kind of forgot everything. So I restarted it, I guess, twice. So yeah, this is my 3rd time going through it. So happy. So happy. And if I still don't know where I'm going, I think I'm gonna just have to like end the video and then focus on driving, because this doesn't look right either. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me focus. I have no idea where I'm going, but I feel really good, and I just wanted to record that it was wonderful. But yeah, ever since I started the book, it's like I wanted to have some time to like write some notes, and 1000% like I can do that. It's not like anything's preventing me, but I never found the time. And then whenever I sat down and I started reading, okay, I'm a little nervous. That looks kind of familiar. Let's just go this way, because that doesn't look, I have to, okay. But yeah, like, focus on maps and knowing where I go, or let me, like, I want to just like, but yeah, it was totally nice, especially when I first sat down, and it was like, you know, you tell them water and everything, and then like, you know, like between all of that, like it was just like quiet, uninterrupted time, and I'm like, this is really nice. And then when the food got there, of course, like but yeah, I'm happy, and that's all that matters. And it was so crazy because before all of this, I was kind of nervous. I'm gonna look up where I'm going now, because I think I went in a complete circle. But nothing looks familiar, but I've been here before like 20 times. Okay, I'm gonna focus.